Welcome to Wrestling Around, episode 14. And I'm here with with the ECW Original Chilly Willy. Thank you for joining me. I Thank you for joining us, Chilly Willy. I, and um, if you're trying to talk to me, I can't hear you. Um, is your your microphone is off, or your microphone is not on? Uh, Chilly Willy, your microphone isn't on. Um, or- I can't hear you. Okay, there we go. My camera wasn't working for a little bit. Um, um, Chili, are you getting a microphone or something? Um, um, are you? You're. If you're talking, I can't hear you. You have to turn your microphone on or something, or plug one in. There's a little chat box in Zoom. If you didn't know that, you could you could you could let me know if you don't have a mic or not or something. I um, you there? Um. Oh, yeah, I think he's trying to join back. I guess. I guess Zoom can be can be really faulty sometimes, like every other thing. Sorry, I'm just. I was just playing 2K19, WWE 2K19, even though that's not really professional. But I have to do something during the time. It was originally like 10 a.m., but like an hour prior. But you told me that, so you just let me know he was done. He was doing a podcast at the time. I'm gonna assume that he actually just gotten a microphone or trying to find one to join back and he can talk. Okay. Okay. Um. 7 a.m. All right. Um. All right. All right. Let me set this off. All right. Um. So how's everybody's day? Whoever's watching. Just waiting till he's back. Um. Oh, he sent something. Hello. Yes. Okay. All right. Yes, I'll wait for him. Need an invite up. Don't use my cell phone. Okay. He doesn't use his cell phone. Okay. The same invite. Alright. It should work now. Use my PC. Same. Yes. Earned a spot. Earned a spot for what? You can play with them. I'll allow you to. But for for now, you I'm still going to block. I'm still having blocked. Sorry, that's my decision. Whatever you decide to do, you can. If he wants to play with you, he can. But you shall. No, you shan't. Hit the call number. Into the same. Okay. Okay, call number. Okay. Try that. Okay. That's it. Okay. Okay. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. What? I can do that. Right now, I'm trying to do the interview with Chilly Willy. All right. Now I'm gonna admit him. Okay. Yeah. Let me try this again. Is it is it working now? The microphone? Do you have a microphone now?
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, Chilly Willy.
How are you, brother? Hold on just a second. Let me put on my. There we go.
Hey.
There we go.
How you doing?
Good, man. Finally.
Yeah, Zoom can be faulty at some points.
Yeah. It was going through my phone, and I didn't want to go through my phone, so I just used my PC. It's better for me to use my PC here.
Yeah, I was first introduced to Zoom while I was in school using my phone and in my school Chromebook. And besides that, how is it in the Philippines right now?
It's good. It's late. It's like 11:20 p.m. So it's good. Where you at, man? Where you coming from?
I'm coming from the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah,
That's
nice
what's up.
having you.
How's the weather?
Good. I think it's gonna be like rainy today. I don't know. I have like so much technology. Like I have like a lot of Amazon Alexas and all that.
Right. Okay. All right.
To
So now, are you recording or are you going live when you're on
I'm
your?
on YouTube and Twitter. I'm live on both. That's I'm just letting you know
Oh,
that.
so YouTube and Twitter. Okay.
Yeah. So uh, just I'm gonna
I'm
admit
on YouTube.
yes, yes. I you don't need
And
to put your socials because I already put them in the description of my YouTube.
okay.
So
Cool.
so so to start out with, you've been a ECW original, and you've been in ECW for like near the end of its closure from 2000 to 2001, and
Right.
you got to face the likes of Raven, Rhino, and Mikey Whipwreck. And what is your honest opinion of the ECW, the company that you worked for in the earlier career?
Oh man, it's great. It was like the pinnacle of my life when it wrestling career, shall I say. Um, I loved it. I loved every minute of it. You know what I mean? Driving from North Carolina all the way up to Philadelphia, picking up Mike Keener, the referee. From there, going to Long Island, picking up the ring truck, and then from there, man, just going all over to do the show. So, I mean, I learned a lot. I loved it. Great locker room, great people. So I had a good time.
Well, you have been in the wrestling business since the late '90s, and you have been oh oh. It, so is it working out? Is it
Yeah.
okay? Okay. Should can
Say
you
that
hear,
again.
can you hear me?
Yeah, your reception either is yours or mine was somebody's reception is tough.
Yeah. I see the reception that it's not really working out. you know.
Yeah.
So what I was about to say, you've you've been in the wrestling business since the late '90s, and you've been trying to advance yourself to train these younger guys, and to even in the Philippines, you have been training these younger guys to get into the business and become big stars. When you were in ECW, you were under the name Chilly Willy, and what
Right.
and the and I need to ask, when were you pitched the name Chilly Willy when you first joined the company?
No, 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 no. When Billy Willie was my name when I first started wrestling. Um, that was the name I came up with. I actually originally wanted to do the virus gimmick, not gimmick, but I wanted that name from the movie Con Air. But I found out that Don Callis was already named Callis. I mean, it was named Cyrus, and so I changed my name to Chili Willy. And when I was on the Indies in North Carolina, I wrestled as Chili Willy, the Ghetto Superstar. And then it wasn't until when I went to ECW that it was Chili Willy, everybody's favorite homeboy. So yeah, that was the name that at the time my ex girlfriend, her brother in law actually would call me Chill Will because my name is William, and so I just put it as Chili Willy,
Mm,
so it kind of stuck.
well, that ain't a bad name. Like I gotta say, when I first heard your name, I was like, that's like funny, honestly. You know,
Oh yeah,
you
yeah, it
play.
was. It was. A lot of people thought it was the little penguin, and so it was like, oh, Chili Willy, what is that? It was the penguin, the little penguin there, but nothing like that. So it was. I love it.
So So you're not just into wrestling. Like when you were in in the early 2000s, went into the military, but after the military, you actually wanted to get back into the business and still wrestle
Hmm.
until you like retired back in '09. Um,
Right.
but you still wanted to contribute to the business. How was it? How was your like when you were joining the military? How was the setting, and how did it like affect you, and how did you like come over it and got back into wrestling after
Hmm.
that serious stuff in the Rock that you were involved in?
Yeah. It was it was a weird transition. I was doing Tough Man also when I was wrestling on the Indies before I went to ECW. So I would do Tough Man competitions, um, just to hustle, just to make some money when I didn't wrestle. And then when 9/11 hit, that's when I went into the military, and from there, went to war, went to Iraq. Came back out and got signed with WWE, and it was went down to OVW in Kentucky, and it was that was kind of hard because I went straight the from Iraq straight to America, back to America. I really didn't have time to debrief or anything, so the war mentality was still in my brain, not really wrestling, and so it took me couple of years to really try to kind of get the wrestling back into me because I was in war mode and fighting mode, real fighting mode. So it was in like totally different. But eventually, it kind of calmed down a little bit, and so but by that time, 2009, 2010, I just stopped wrestling, and then just travel a little bit, and then I came here to the Philippines and kind of picked it back up a little bit.
Mm.
But more so training. I'm more so training students.
So you've mentioned you worked for the WWE right back when you got back from Iraq, and you've
Yes.
worked for OVW, and like I guess worked a couple
Mm-hmm.
matches and like training guys. Um, if not to mention, I've actually researched on you, and tell me if this is true. You had a couple of dark matches on WWE for
Mm-hmm.
WWF at the time, like right around where the invasion angle was starting. Um, yeah, I saw like there is one dark match of you on YouTube, you against Cusick,
Yes.
and you were still and you weren't really like pushed, or at least like not on television as much. But was it ever pitched to you like you even had like some type of contract or some type of negotiation with WWF at the time?
No, at that time, that was before I went to Iraq. I mean, I'm sorry, before I went into the military. Um, I got invited to come up when Kevin Kelly was there. Kevin Kelly was there, and he invited me to come up at least twice. So I wrestled Cusick. I wrestled Pat Cusick twice. Once in Baltimore and once in Virginia. And yeah, we it was good. It was you know, I told someone before, do a dark match, you don't get. So they let me win both matches, which was good. They let me come out to my own music, not my own music, but they had their own music for me, and so they gave me a lot of leeway. They let me use my name, Chilly Willy, because normally when you go do a dark match, you have to use your real name.
Mm.
So that was surprising to me, and I didn't really wait around to see if I was going to get a contract at the time. I saw the writing on the wall. ECW had already folded pretty much. I needed a job, and 9/11 hit, and I said I'm going to join the military because I was going to make it a career. Got to do 20 years, and so that was the whole thing about me going to the military. But I think had I not went into the military and stuck around, maybe I would have gotten a contract earlier. But I'm glad I went to the military. I don't regret what I did because when I got out of the military, there was a contract already waiting for me. You know what I mean? So it all worked out. It all panned out. But like I said, when you do a dark match, normally you're going to use your real name. I was very lucky that they let me use. I don't know why they just let me use Chilly Willy. You know.
Indeed. Marshall, do you want to? This is my co-host, by the way. Do you want to ask him a question? Oh, he is wearing a little mask, little head.
Okay, I was trying to figure. I was looking. I was like, "What is that?"
Oh, it's from a video game. It's. I don't know.
It's all good.
It's kind of like. It's kind of random. It's kind of go off the wall sometimes. So.
Okay.
Moving
All
on
right.
from.
I ain't mad at you.
So from the you have worked with a lot of guys in ECW, even some veterans. So
Okay.
let me. Oh, Marshall, were you gonna say something? Oh, what? Now you have an Iron Man mask on. He is a Marvel and DC fan, and kind of like a little is in the creepy genre like that. So since moving on, I'm gonna give you like a list of people that you either kind of like got in the shared the locker room with, or like worked in the ring, and tell me your honest opinion about them. All right. Um, Raven.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean everyone that you're gonna name pretty much. I had some interaction with. Not necessarily wrestle with. I think there were one time that I shared the ring with Raven. I can't say that I tagged with him. I was in the ring. He came in and did a saving for me. So guys like him, New Jack, yeah, man. The only really person that I tagged with was Balls Mahoney against the Maldies. But all those guys, man, all those guys, even the women, Francine, Dawn Marie, all of them were fantastic to work with. It's like a brotherhood, sisterhood, and couldn't ask for a better life.
Mikey Whipwreck. Oh. 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 So, can you hear me now? I can. All right.
Okay.
I said Mikey Whipwreck.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Mikey Whipwreck.
Okay. Like I said, Mike Whipwreck, learned a lot from him. Great teacher. Very knowledgeable. And, guys like him, they take care of you. They don't have anything to gain by, going in there roughshotting you, anything like that. You guys are very professional. When I got there, I was a greenhorn. I was a green guy. And so I was only like 2-3 years in the business before I went to ECW. And those guys had already been up top, working at ECW, already there, superstars. And so they would help you. They would help you a lot, as much as they could. I didn't hang around them that much because I was on a ring crew. And ring crew, you're pretty much dealing with the ring crew guys, because after the show you have to take down the ring. Before the show you have to put up the ring. So you don't really have time to hang out with the other guys. But we did do like warm ups and things like that.
How about this one? Where you faced him for the one of the for one of the ECW's championships, Rhino.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Me and Rhino had some, we had a couple of matches together. And to this day, we're still good friends, And I was I was lucky that Paul and Tommy and them, whoever the powers to be at that time, they thought enough of me to put me in against Rhino, and Rhino's a big guy. And at that time, I had a pretty good physique, so um, once again, I get into the ring and then guys would take care of me. Rhino would take care of me, teach me, talk me through some things, Same with Guido, the FBI, Tony Mamaluke, Chris Hamrick, those guys, Easy Money. The list goes on.
So,
was there ever a time in ECW when you thought it was enough?
well, oh, he was talking in some type of deep voice. Sorry, he was talking in a Vince McMahon impression. Would say that again.
Was there ever a time that you thought ECW was end of the road?
I didn't understand that. I'm sorry.
You could talk in the normal voice. What he said. He's said something about ECW. Hold on.
Did you ever think that ECW was the only stop for you?
Did I think that ECW was my last stop?
Yep.
No. I mean, at the time I was with ECW, I just thought ECW. Everyone at the time thought of going on to WWE, WWF, WWE because that's the mecca. You know what I mean? And so where else are you gonna go? That's the pinnacle of pro wrestling. Still is. So of course, if you get into the business of pro wrestling, that's where you want to go. And WCW at the time was gone, so there was no other place to go but WWE.
So, during your short stint in ECW, was it ever pitched to you that you would ever win, that you were going to win like the main ECW championship or like the lower card titles?
No. I wasn't in line for none of that. I think they were trying to. I think Paul was trying to gear me towards the television champion, but I was so far from that. You know what I mean? I just would wrestle Rhino a couple of times. That's all I knew. Nothing was mentioned to me about anything about no TV or no belts, anything like that. Like I said, I was too much of a greenhorn. There were so many guys ahead of me. My mentor, C.W. Anderson, Steve Carino, them guys was there. There were so many super crazy. There were so many people that was so far ahead of me that I was just happy to be there to wrestle, and have a job and learn the experience.
All right. So let's go back to the when you first got signed by WWE to OVW. When you were
Mm-hmm.
when you were training these guys and like wrestling at the same time, how was it like when you were first signed OVW when you were gone down to the developmental promotion LVW?
I go, guys. Like I said, I mean, I'm coming straight from Iraq, and at the time I was married, so I only had time to come from Watertown, New York, to North Carolina, drop off my furniture, kiss my wife goodbye, and I'm back on the road, all within like 1 or 2 days. So once I got to Louisville, and went to practice for the first day, sort of like my orientation. Nova was there. Nova was there at the time. Mickey James was still there. hanging around. I think she was already wrestling, but she was kind of like hanging around practicing. Joey Matthews. And mind you, I'm in the class. This is 2005. I'm in the class of Bobby Lashley, John Morrison, Ken Anderson, the Boogeyman, Beth Phoenix, Jillian Hall, you name it, Dolph Ziggler, the Pope. So all these guys are, Aaron Stevens. I'm in there in that class. No one's a star yet. You know what I mean? No one's a star. But you would see even Beast, God bless his soul, Beast was there. Gaspar and Matt Capitelli, bless his soul too. These guys were there, women, and it was like when I walked in, it wasn't like the ECW locker room, right? Because the ECW locker room was like very tight, very tight. I didn't know none of these guys here, other than Nova and Joey Matthews and Mickey James a little bit. But I didn't really know a lot of the other people, none of them actually. And so it was different, you know what I mean? And like I said, you're in the big leagues now, so you got to put on your big boy pants and you got to play with the big boys. And it was just it was a dog eat dog world, It was like get yours, and just different. It's totally different.
Mm-hmm. So during your time in the ECW, I know you had like a lot of matches in ECW, and shared the locker room with a lot of ECW veterans. But is there any story that kind of like stands out among all of them that you could share, or any stories that you could share from ECW?
It depends on what I mean. There's a lot of them, a couple of them. There's the one where we fought the ex-PW people in California. There was the time when I was there when New Jack, got hurt on a scaffold match with Big Grimes. The Hammerstein Ballroom wrestling there with Sandman. Meetings Jasmine St. Clair, a porn star. Things like that. It's just small things, but it's things I would never forget. You know what I mean? So I mean, there's a lot of matches, a lot of stories, a lot of things that I've seen that I would never forget. But does one particularly stand out in my mind? Because there was too many of them. There's just too many of them. Just driving there, just driving the arena. I mean, going to pick up the truck, the ring truck. I even crashed the truck. Me and Mike Keener were coming from Florida, and we were on the I-95, and somehow I thought I was seeing the road, but my eyes went out on me, and I crashed the ECW ring, the ECW truck. So it's things like that. Luckily, no one was hurt. It was just one of those things.
No. So, what is your overall opinion of the guy that brought you in to ECW, Paul Heyman?
Well, he was the boss. I mean, that's how I looked at it. You know what I mean? The ones who invited me there was Steve Corino and C.W. Anderson. And so when I got there and I met Tommy Dreamer, Paul Heyman, I had seen Paul Heyman on WCW before, but I never met Tommy Dreamer. I never met Paul. I mean, I never seen Tommy Dreamer because I didn't know anything about ECW at all. I had no clue what it was. I just thought it was another wrestling organization until CW smartened me up, was telling us about it. And so when I went there and I got there, then I saw Paul Heyman. I said, "Oh, that's the guy from WCW." Paulie Dangerously. And I was like, "Oh, snap!" And but for to me, he was cool. He was a good guy. He was like I said, I didn't have a lot of interaction with him because I was on the ring crew. I wasn't like Rob Van Dam or Jerry Lynn or Lance Storm, guys like that. Who had interaction with him more. When you're on the ring crew, you don't really, you just do what you're told pretty much, and it's like okay. So, but he would talk. He would talk to us. He would. He knew who you were. You know.
So, if when you're not on the road or not taking any wrestling bookings at the time, what is your favorite pastime when you're not busy?
When I was with ECW or just in general, you mean?
Yes.
Uh, Back then, like I said, I would do tough man competition. If I'm not wrestling, then I'm home, man. I'm just playing the drums at church for my mom's church on Sundays. If I was home, uh, working out at that time, just that's it. Just laying low and waiting for the next call, and trying to keep my body right so that I can, whenever that call comes to go wrestle again, I'll be ready and prepared. So, but just the average person, chilling at home, eating, sleeping, watching TV, chasing women, all that good stuff.
I know how that life is like. so so moving on from, I know ECW didn't end in 2001. It was brought back in like 2005 and 2006 with the one night stand events. Um, Well, one particular in 2005, I think I think this is this really famous incident at that 2005 that JBL and Blue Meanie had like an actual shoot fight. I know you have worked in with the Blue Meanie in your short stint in ECW. When
Yeah.
it happened back in 2005, what was your initial thoughts on that encounter?
Actually, I think was it 2005 or 2006. I wasn't there. I was not in I wasn't in WWE at the time when that happened. So I want to say it was 2006. I don't know when it was, but anyway, I wasn't there. Um, I don't know where I was at actually. To be honest with you, I really don't even remember seeing that. I didn't hear about that until later on. I did not watch the pay per view. I don't know. I have to be honest with you. I didn't know where I was at. I don't know if I was. I don't know where I was at.
I
But when I heard about it, when I saw it, I was like, "Whoa!" That shit happened. But, I work with. I didn't know JBL at all. I met him once at when I did my dark match. Um, but I didn't meet him. He was just there in the back. So I really didn't. I didn't have anything to say. I didn't. There was no thought there. It's just like anything else, though. In life, for a person to put their hands on you the wrong way, um, then you should be able to defend yourself or um, just go at it. You know what I mean? I think from what I saw at that time, when I heard Blue Meanie didn't really know what was going on, and so until he started really feeling the punches, and it's like you have to discern as a wrestler what is presented to you and then what is not.
couldn't hear
Yeah,
you.
there we go.
So
I don't know, keep getting cut off. But yeah, but in wrestling, if I hit you, and it's the shoot, it is a shoot hit. If I hit you once and you tell me, "Hey, lighten up," then okay, I should understand that. But if I hit you and I continue to hit you, and you're telling me, "Hey, lighten up," and it's not happening, then okay, it's a real fight. You should know that it's a real fight. So I mean, you just got to defend yourself.
let's see. So shortly after that event or those events, the ECW One Night Stand events, the WWE reinvented the ECW itself as a third brand. Um, I know you weren't involved in that like evolution, but but ECW the company you have. But when you first seen it on television or heard about it, um, or based on the background that you know, which would you prefer, the brand or the company?
Company, the company that I worked for. You know what I mean? The brand was just anybody could take a brand and just say, hey, slap three letters on something and say that's a brand. But that's not the company that I work for. You know what I mean? So at that time, I really wasn't watching pro wrestling. I had gotten because after I got fired from OVW, let go. I started working in a prison, so all of my attention was working in the prison, and I was working at night. So I didn't really watch wrestling, you know, at all. Yeah, I think for me, the company, because like I said, anybody could, I could take a Nike brand and turn it upside down and make it, another name. Just sort of like what happened with Kanye West in Walmart. You know what I mean? He got his Yeezy shoes, and they took the shoes, and it's like they started making some shit. So it's like, yeah, you take the brand, but you can't take the company. You know what I mean? That's his company. That's his shit. You know what I mean? And so ECW, the original. That's why they say the original. If they talk to a ECW guy like Mikey Whipwreck, if they talk to a guy like Super Crazy, Tajiri, they're gonna Kid Cash, they're gonna say guys are original. You know what I mean? And I'm lucky that I was on the tail end of it. You know what I mean? So I was like in the last year, so I'm an original until I die.
So when like I said, even though it was really short your ECW run, you've made at least an impact on the original ECW brand as you could when you were signed. So when out of the matches that you had and out of the people that you faced, and the people that and that you've shared the locker room with, what is a dream opponent for you when you should have actually faced them in either ECW or if you had to come out of retirement or like faced any one of the old guys or a new guy? What dream match would you want to make out of it?
Ooh, that's a good one. What dream match would I have wanted in ECW?
Or like or beyond that?
Well, okay, if I was in ECW at that time, I would have probably have wanted to have a match with someone like RVD because he was the top guy. If you're asking me about WWE, what dream match would I want? It would have probably my favorite wrestler is Ric Flair, but what would be my dream match is probably if I could have went back in time, a cage match with Don Morocco, like him and Snooker, that would have been that would have probably been my dream match.
Pretty. Those are pretty old ones. Don Morocco and Jimmy Snuka.
Yes.
Those Those were like in the
Yeah.
golden era.
Oh yeah, that's when I was a kid. That's what got me into. That's what got me hooked. You know what I mean?
Mm. I forgot to tell you beforehand that apparently in Zoom there's like a 40-minute time limit with more than two people because my co-host joined and kind of like activated this 40-minute timer. Let you know about that, but
Okay, that's good.
that's um, but I'll restart it after the time ends if you have
Mm.
time. All right. Moving on from that. When the invasion storyline and when the invasion storyline culminated in right like in mid 2001, where Vince McMahon bought the company. I bought my competition, and the and we had to deal with Ted Turner and all that. But what did you think of the Survivor Series type match between like ECW and ECW WCW versus WWE when it culminated at the Invasion pay-per-view and the Survivor Series?
To be honest with you, like I said at that time, I wasn't even watching. Even when I was in ECW, if I came home and had time off, I barely watched. Being honest with you, I couldn't even tell you, man, how many pay-per-views I bought because I probably haven't even bought not one or two, maybe. I had to wait until later to see. I don't know why. That's just me. I wasn't really. I love wrestling, but for some reason it got to the point where like all the pay per views have got too much for me or something, and it just I didn't really. I wasn't really into it. And even still, even now, I don't really watch it that much. I do for my research. Like if I'm going to talk about something, but I kind of stopped watching it a long time ago. Really, I was just watching just for I don't know, like I said, just for research or something. If I'm gonna talk about a subject or something. Um, but back then, I didn't really watch the Survivor Series or even the WrestleManias. I didn't even watch them.
Mm.
It wasn't until later that I may watch one or two of them. I couldn't even sit through the whole thing because it's too much. It was just too much for me. It's just after being for me, this is just for me speaking. After being in ECW, after wrestling, and then actually seeing some of what happens in the back end of it of pro wrestling, I was like, this is it. I still love the sport, but it wasn't a mystique to me. It wasn't like mysterious. It wasn't like like when I was a little kid. I mean, it's like seeing the movie The Wizard of Oz, and you're walking down the Yellow Brick Road, and then next thing you know, you go into the big castle, you turn the curtain, you see who's really controlling everything. And that's kind of like how wrestling was to me when I got into wrestling. It was like, okay, I know how it's going to end or whatever. It's not. Whereas before, it was mysterious to me. I used to be like very, very curious. Who's going to win? Who's going to do this? Who's going to? So I just kind of like, I didn't put no money into no pay-per-views, nothing like that. No pay-per-view parties, none of that. So I couldn't tell you.
So what you're saying after wrestling, like when you were wrestling, you didn't really watch it as much even after you stopped.
Right.
So
right. Even now, yeah. Even like now, I mean, I do a wrestling podcast. But when I help interview, I co-host. I'm interviewing the person, and I'm trying to get their experience and their knowledge. But if you're gonna ask me, what happened to Hell in a Cell like the other week, I didn't watch it. I don't know. You see what I'm saying? It's just a lot of it had to do with me in the Philippines, but also even if I was home in America, I'm just not going to pay.
Oh. choosing Zoom. Oh God. Need to. All right. Just start. Is it the same? Yep. It's the same one. Okay. Okay. So. Sorry. All right. So. All right. It's just. Let's do a follow up next week. So. Thanks. Let's do a follow up next week. Then. Okay. Who wants to do a follow up? Okay. Okay. So, I guess that is it for now. I guess that's it for the interview now for Mr. Chilly Willy. Thank you for coming on. I hope that if you want to follow him, is the social medias. There are the social medias in the description of the YouTube. If you're on Periscope or watching on Twitter, you can check him out on Twitter at Chilly Willy ECW. No caps, just that's it. No underscores, no spaces, no capitals. That's it. So that would be it for now. He said he was going to do a little follow up next week. So I guess he's going to come back on. So he so hopefully you guys can stay tuned for that and basically just stay there for a lot. Stay there for the second coming of this podcast episode. I guess it's a 14.5 since it's next week. Or maybe it's not because Mr. Goldstein, I could possibly have him on. He said he wanted to be on like at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, which I would try to get up at that time. I try to get out before then, but I would try the best I can. If Mr. Goldstein is watching, I will try to get you on. I'll try to get you on at the times that you're available. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you're new here on YouTube, like, subscribe, and turn on all post notifications so you never miss any future up and coming videos or streams. Well, mostly streams now. I don't really do videos, or maybe I'll surprise them. Like, no, maybe not. Let me just stop messing around. So on Periscope, on the people on Twitter that are watching this, just thank you guys for watching. If you want to stay tuned for the next episode of Wrestling Around, just follow me on Twitter, Game Master Clark, and I'll see you both in the next episode of Wrestling Around. And there will be another, I think it's another stream coming up, I think. Oh yeah, of course. It's Wrestling Wednesday. All right. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.